it the one that I came on? Maybe. I think the exile capital, was it called Sinner's Refuge? I think you can get some special armors as drops from that location that each one gives +3 to survival. So full set would be +15 survival. I never got any drops from there myself, but I have seen the armor pieces as they've been brought back by a teammate. I think that's the location where you get them from, but maybe they're a bit rare. Their capital does have brimstone in it, so it's not a bad location to visit early on in the game. It's one of the brimstone locations at least. And well, now that we're here, we could possibly take a look at if the weapon masters or the blacksmith actually is anywhere close to finishing, because this this wheel here has a taskmaster, whereas the one in the Sepermeru, where the armor was, did not, or one was being tamed when we left. But given how far away Tarman was from completion in the river base, I'm not sure we're going to see much of a change in the progress in this location. And the dancer is ready, so we can place down a dancer here. Well, at least it starts with the strength armors. Pretty bad stats. Not sure what survival does. It says survival buff time reduction. But in earlier versions it didn't seem to do anything, even if you had survival stat of 50 on a creature. Because they didn't eat meat, at least. Not there and then. We do probably want to give you some food, at least. But you only seem to prefer it cooked. I have some roasted haunches here if you can actually eat them. That did not seem to do anything. Okay. Yeah, this location still does not have a water source, but the blacksmith is around 60% done. So let's make our way back to the river base. I'm fairly sure that the rhinos completed at least now. Not that we are going to use the rhino for anything, because the combat animation tile set or animation set is just so unsuited for combat. Well, I haven't really used Rhino that much myself. I've just heard some feedback on them that they don't attack that often compared to the other choices that are available, like this hyena. And now let's park you here and see if there's a higher tier slaver available, or just slaver 1. You're a cook. A named cook. You might actually want to take you with us. And the slaver wheel should have some extra space for 3 additional thralls. The tier 4 cook has some additional cooking options, but I think a lot of it has to do with honey. Like honey glazed something something. Of course it's going to be fast in crafting recipes and offer better fuel efficiency. Actually, you don't have any gruel left, I just noticed that. That's actually a bit of an issue, because it means that your taming progress has halted. I didn't leave enough gruel here before, but I can't remember how much I just used back then. Was it 200 units? So we're still missing a tier 4 carpenter and tier 4 alchemist. The alchemist can be obtained from the Darfari capital, but it shares a spawning location with a priest of Yogg at least, and possibly a fighter of some sort. Strangely, you had respawned, even though there was still a corpse from the previous pair visible there.
Man flesh.
Oh, Slaver 2. We do want that one. And the chest has orbs. That's kind of nice. And we'll leave the slaver to this desert wheel. We can possibly bring it with us when we are heading back to the river base with the armorer from Severmeru. If the Slaver 2 is finished by then. Basically when we get back and install the Slaver into the Wheel of Pain by the river, then Tarman should instantly tame. Or that's my assumption at least. Now you have enough gruel for around 8 hours. Actually, when we get back to the river base, I'm going to take a short break from the recording and split this video file to more manageable chunks.
One last look at the salt was all I wanted.
Nice! 7 fire water. We're gonna get so drunk! Like it's year 2000. Unfortunately, alcohol weighs a lot in this game. I'll give you some of this coal so we can get back to our base where we can safely get drunk and do nothing while we think the world is an amazing place. And the rhino's ready. Can see it this far away. Yeah, alcohol is pretty good buff in this game, if you have enough of it. The horse is not quite ready just yet. The rhino is. And we got a normal one. Do I want to take him outside? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's place him here somewhere. Where he's not immediately going to get aggroed by the shellbacks. So around 1000 hit points. First level takes 7000 experience points. I think the hyena took 2300. And as for stats, pretty horrible stats, but you get around 300 hit points for every 1 point of vitality, and 34 armor for agility. And you seem to be fairly herbivorous. I think we can give you 6 berries. That gives you a survival bonus. Do we have other sources of food? What do the barks give? Vitality and survival. I might need to do some experimenting on my own time to find the optimal foods for certain creatures. I think the smelter's now ready to be placed. And we also had some coal. I think we have been using this smelter for a while now, so let's replenish some of that coal. And we have lots of iron bars now. We should also have some exotic shellfish for the turtle up there. And we'll also drink 5 units of alcohol. Which gives us a journey step to get extremely drunk. We also have alcohol poisoning for drinking too much. But sometimes drinking the set antidote helps with that. I think it is meant to help. It did help. Right. So, if you have access to those set antidotes, you can abuse alcohol to get its stat buff, which is +3 to strength and +3 to vitality when you drink 5 units. If you drink 3 units, you only get the vitality buff. And no alcohol poisoning. The alcohol poisoning lasts fairly long. I've never timed it, but let's say 5 minutes maybe. And because we ate the fire water, or drank the fire water, it has a warming effect. That's just absinthe apparently. So it takes our temperature meter well into the red. But we are only very hot. I'm not actually sure if the Imperious helps with that or it just downplays the effects of being very hot. Can't really say. I'm still overburdened by those iron bars, so let's place them here. We'll also make some iron reinforcements. We'll also give you the shellfish and put the orbs here. Make some poison arrows. Also the dry wood. We'll put the bark and this thing here. We'll leave some of the demon blood, or attempt to leave some of the demon blood here. Only craft for that undead monstrosity. This is what takes a long ass time, basically as long as a taming process, I think, even with the cook speeding it up. And we'll leave some of our wood behind. We'll have some of these in case we need them where we go. We actually don't need them because I have Sandstorm Mask. I don't need to build a shelter. We'll leave the crystals here. I can't see why I'm going to need them. You can leave the primitive stones, I guess. We have 2 bone broth, but I don't have human flesh, nor do I really feel like going to get some, even though there are some very close by to be obtainable. We have 12 units of purified water still, so I don't need to make any. Well, I might, just to show you how it's done. Take these empty flasks and fill them up from a water source. For example, this well here or that river. Then you just take them here. Now you can actually use this water-filled flask to cool yourself by, I guess, pouring the water over, but you can also turn them into purified water, which recovers 50 points of thirst or hydration when used. You also use purified water as a base component when you're brewing booze in the booze barrel. And let's pick up the saddle that we made. It weighs quite a bit. It says a heavy saddle designed for war, even though it's a light saddle. It did have a durability. I'm not actually sure if you can upgrade them with these reduction kits, but we'll try. It'd be nice if it didn't weigh that much. Did not seem to work. Bummer. And do we have more cooked meat? We should have. And you are progressing along nicely, so I'm thinking that the armor is now pretty much ready in Sepermeru. But what's the situation with our horse? Because the horse might still not be ready. Give and take, I guess. We might want to wait for that just to get the horse to accompany us on our journey or slightly speed it up. Although the amount of time it saves is probably less than the amount of time it still takes to get tamed. But that's just how it tends to be. We can spend some of the time we wait for it to craft a few standing torches, I guess. If I have the plant fiber for it. We don't really have that much plant fiber. We do have the sickle, so we can probably get some from these plants here that have not loaded in. Oh, there's a plant here. So we got 10 from that one, so we'll get enough from the other one. Place one here. And one here. Guess one here as well. If it lets us. And that's close enough. Then we have 4. Which we can place around the map room. What's wrong with your breathing? Did you get corona? Yeah, because I have now foundations here the resources that we hacked have not been replenished. Also, I'm not sure if we will clear this much of this area. I'm not actually sure at all. Maybe it just did not load here in the game memory when we went away and came back, because it's not supposed to respawn that close to foundations.